Welcome back to the channel and our continued playthrough of Car Dealer Simulator on the PS5. Game by Garage Monkeys on the store at $18.99 and a very polished simulator. A few different mechanics to keep you entertained and all done really well, I have to say. Within this kind of world map, where the core mechanic is that we're going to be buying and selling vehicles, some of which we can buy that are essentially mechanically sound and just require a bit of a tidy up. Obviously not so much of a profit margin in that. Some will require some body work, and that's where we got to in our last video. So we managed to get an upgrade to the body shop, which means that we can actually take on paid staff. And for a fully rusted car that was abandoned, or van even, so one of the biggest vehicles in the game that was completely rusted, it took 3 minutes in real time for that body work to be restored, which is absolutely excellent, because had I done that myself, it probably would have taken around about 30 to 40 minutes of kind of real-time gaming. So we're ready to open up shop for the day. It's 3 o'clock in the morning at the moment. What we could do is have a look actually for another vehicle. We got $3,411 left, so we're not going to be getting anything that doesn't require a bit of body work, and it's outside of working hours, so we're going to be doing that ourselves. So I'm going to stick to drivable cars as always. I'm going to filter to poor and hit the search button and see what we can get for that 3,000. Not a lot, I don't expect. Okay, we can get ourselves a UMX. They're pretty decent cars. It's got a lot of miles on it. But let's schedule a meeting and off we'll go, because we should then hopefully be able to get that done before the start of the next working day. We can go into our dealership, and there's a little sofa type thing in there where we can basically start the next working day. You don't have to wait through. So we've got our heads up display here that tells us the distance to the vehicle. Let's see what we can get this for. So 2,450. I'm going to be a bit cheeky here, I know, but I'm going to go for about half that. Okay. So we definitely lowballed there. I don't know whether that affected our reputation. I had not really noticed. We're still at level 6, thankfully. It's not taking us down any further. I thought that was going to be cheeky, I got to admit. I did say that beforehand. Let's go for 2,000. Okay, because I... So what is our reputation level there? So we're at 1,350, is it? Something like that. It's quite small on the screen. Let's get this back to the dealership. Lovely engines on these. Oh. And they motor along at a fair old pace, as you can see. So at pretty fast speed there. You can see there wasn't an awful lot of pop-up. It kind of... I mean, I'm no programmer or developer or anything like that, but it did kind of confuse me sometimes how some of the really simplistic simulators didn't perform well on something as powerful as a PS5. I don't know whether it's just like game optimization or something like that, but yeah, it did seem like some of the games really shouldn't have been that demanding, but there's an awful lot of pop-ups. You'd be kind of driving your car along, and then a car would pop up out of nowhere, and you'd crash. Or there'd be like, even though there was only 3 or 4 character models on some of the kind of shop simulators, there would only be like 3 or 4 characters, but they'd be walking into each other and going through each other, and yeah, not seen any of that on this. But as I've said before, and I stand by it, is it's all relative. Those games tend to be significantly cheaper, and you know, if you're going to pay £3-4, or even up to kind of, I don't know, £7, and it gives you a few hours of enjoyment, well then it's worth it, in my humble opinion. Okay, we're going to be filling this, so kind of sacrifice speed for accuracy there because there wasn't as much rust, but as you can see, the more you grind away, the more you're going to have to fill. That's where you can, particularly on bigger vehicles, it sometimes pays to be a little bit more attentive. So most of the vehicles, the rust is going to be around the sills and the wheel trims. The abandoned one's going to be rusted all over, and you can of course press down on the directional pad and it will be highlighted the bits that you need to address. We've also got the progress bar over on the top left that shows us, fills up with orange as we go through and complete it. You can also crouch with the R3 button here so that we can tackle those bits. The sander is very forgiving, it covers a massive area. This is probably one of the most therapeutic bits. So even there, look, again, I talk about little things and attention to detail. When we get close to the vehicle, you can see the reflection of those paint splotches on the floor. We can see the reflection of the tool that we're using. So let's say, although we're polishing at the moment, no pun intended, it is a very polished game. And I think that's really good, because if your first impressions of something are positive, then I certainly think that Garage Monkeys is a studio that I'll be watching, so that then if there are other products that they're releasing, then certainly something that I'd have a look into. And that's the point that I'm at the moment, is that even with the subscription games, it's almost like some of them are too big, and so I kind of talked myself out of playing them, because I think, well, actually I haven't got 6 hours at the moment to explore a massive open world game. So that's why I've become more involved with the simulators. My partner, she loves the simulator genre, and that's one of the other benefits, is that we can both play the game, so we're getting double the value. Okay, so let's go through the motions here. We got our foam, we'll then give it a jet wash, wax and a polish, and we are then back to a full complement of vehicles on the yard there in the forecourt, none of which have been clocked, because we want to keep our reputation intact. We're going to be paying our bills on time. I've not yet, when I start a new day, I won't be, because we take employees at a day rate, I won't be doing that until we've got vehicles to be done. I think that worked out quite well, in that we could go and collect a vehicle, have the worker do their bits, go and collect another one, and whilst they were working on the bodywork, we'd be doing the washing here. I didn't actually check that van to see whether all the paintwork was done. I don't know what the paint shop would do. So I probably should have checked that actually. To see whether it was just that the bodywork was repaired but not sprayed. Because then you potentially have to spray it yourself or pay somebody else to do it. And for a one-stage process, I think I'd probably do that myself. Okay, we need to apply some polish. And we're now at just shy of 8 AM, which is when we can start taking customers. So we'll open up the dealership, sell our vehicles, and then close it again. Seems to be quite effective. So we got to get this into one of the slots here. Are we in the green? No. There we go. And it doesn't matter, but I like them to be lined up as best as I can. Okay, there we go. So let's get our camera out. Take some pics. There we go. And we can go and list that one. And well, we'll open up while we're doing that. So open up the office for business. Get our final vehicle listed. Let's get the pictures on there. That's a nice one with the sunset in the background. 39% drivable. 4353 would make it a very attractive offer. So let's go for 53. Maybe 5,000 is better. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we get down to $1,180. We don't currently have a kind of project vehicle, so that would be the other thing that I would do as we start to make more money, is potentially have a project vehicle as well that we work on out of hours, so that we can start earning some trophies. I don't know what this building here is. We haven't used this yet. So potentially another workshop area. Once we get to an upgrade, we've got a customer already waiting. So this was this the non-drivable? So 14,000, and he's going to pay us full asking price with no haggling. Okay. Looks like a deal there. Okay. Do you seem to have a Canadian flag on your Jamaican t-shirt, but we won't split hairs. So level up was what we called the garage, because of the channel name. You can change this at any point, so there's some nice options for the background, for the depth, of how far it extrudes. There's some different typefaces, so a little bit of customization. Our second customer of the day. Are you looking at the pickup there, ma'am? 5,000. I propose 3.7. How about we make it 45? 4008. Little bit more, I reckon. How about 43? Meet me halfway. 4072 is not that much more, but okay, you got a deal.
No way.
Ooh, did you not like the price of the station wagon? Let's have another look though. It looks a little bit.
No way.
Okay, thought we might have some interest. Okay, and full asking price, 26,000. That takes us up to 45,000. You missed out on a bargain there, sir. I saw you looking. You snooze, you lose. Whilst we're waiting for them to have a complimentary browse of our vehicles, let's see what our next upgrade looks like. So the mechanical workshop to get level 2, that means we have a car lift and we can take on more repairs. Kind of avoided that one just for now. Let's just see. Okay, full asking price.
All right, Bob.
Thank you, sir. 55,000 is a respectable amount of money, I think. Let's close up shop for the day. And back to the PC. Have a look at what upgrades we've got. So I did mention that my partner loves a simulator, and she's also going through a playthrough at the moment. So I know that although we can buy the gas pump hub, it also then means that we need a trailer to take deliveries, which I think was an extra 70,000. So I'm not sure what that adds at the moment. I don't think that... I don't think it means you sell gas or petrol. So we'd say in the UK, I think that means that we can basically sell cars with a full tank of fuel. So would potentially increase the amount of money we can make. So we haven't actually got any other repair options at the moment. Once we get to that, we need a reputation level of 9 to get to the body shop, the final body shop level, and you can see there that we then get a photo studio. Nice. And an office. We need an office level of at least 3. So I think we're there or thereabouts with the body shop stuff. What does that get? So that we're going to need to get a car lift. That then means that once we get to level 3 of upgrades in the mechanical workshop, we can then have a worker to take care of the mechanical stuff. Car wash. So level 3 there, we've got... Okay, we can then have a worker to take care of washing the cars. I'd like to be able to upgrade the office, actually. So we need a reputation level of 7. Mechanical workshop of 2. Body workshop of 3. So bigger office and a parking lot with a concrete surface. A car display platform, that'd be nice. So we can get an actual vehicle. I'd said about that in an earlier video, I think, that it would be nice to have a a car on display. I know they're on the forecourt, but something really grand in the actual dealership would be fantastic. And then level 4, then we're really doing business. Look at that. A modern building, more car display platforms. You got more parking lot space, repair machine upgrade, hire a worker to take care of reception, and a storage expansion. So lots to work towards there. I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade the mechanical workshop, because we need to do that in order to be able to work through the other bits. Okay, let's have a look at the tutorial. You have unlocked a new workshop level which unlocks new repair options. Use the application on your computer or tablet called tutorials if you need help with repairs. That's really handy. So that cost us 20,000, with 35 still pretty reasonable amount of money to have. So we've now got a car ramp in this bit, which means that we can do some actual mechanical repairs. We can start moving into that aspect of the game. Within these bits here, we have our... This is the sofa that I mentioned where we can sleep to progress a day. We've got a radio there, which we can... Actually, we can probably take that into the workshops. I've got the music turned off at the moment, just in case there were any potential copyright issues. But I think there's a streamer mode on here, which would mean that potentially that doesn't cause an issue. Can we put that on here? This is the place where we're spending most of our time at the minute. I know it shouldn't bother me, but the fact that it's the wrong way around kind of does. There we go. So can we turn that on? So if I then go into settings and audio, just put it at 56. Doesn't seem to be doing anything at the moment. There are radio stations in when you get in the vehicles as well. Have we got anything on here that might do anything? No. Okay. So we don't yet know quite what happens in the paint workshop, but we've got our upgraded car wash, our upgraded body shop, and we have a paint booth. We now have our upgraded workshop with a ramp so that we can do some mechanical repairs. And we better just check that we've paid our bills. Okay, so there we go. Let's go over to the bank. And we got $454 to pay. Let's keep our reputation intact. Right, let's have a look at something. So there are no non-drivable cars at the moment. Interesting. So we've got 34 cars available, and I would say as well this. So we're only seeing a very small selection of the cars in the game at the moment. So if I head over to the trophy bit, trophy hall, then on the left hand side, if I scroll through there, those are all the different types of vehicles in the game. And as you can see on the right hand side, there's then 3 different ones. So I would like to have something like one of those in the showroom. It's a coupe that struck a balance between sportiness and elegance. car statistics. Okay, so if I go up the UMX, I've not seen this before. So you see there the UMX 600C. That's actually showing us how many we've bought and sold. That's nice. So we haven't quite got to the point where we can keep hold of any of these because we've needed the cash. So that's going to be our next kind of progression loop, I think, is we're going to have some mechanical work that we can now do. I'd quite like to assign a worker to do that. Now, the tutorial did say, in order to be able to do that, the repairs must be in storage or the inventory. So, before I got distracted, I talked about being able to sleep in that bit. Or storage. I think, was it in here? Oh, service board. It's a nice little touch. There was a storage somewhere, like a warehouse or something like that. You got a rather questionable toilet. So if we're going to be selling vehicles, we encourage people not to use the facilities. There was... I don't want to destroy an item. So this is our inventory, which we access via the triangle button, I think it is. Yeah. So I don't quite know where our storage is at the moment. Ah, there it is. Open storage. So we can, by the looks of it, store 150 items, I want to say. Which is fairly decent. So, yeah, we can now start looking at vehicles from a mechanical point of view and seeing what it is we need to repair and replace. So I'll end this particular video here. I will again mention, apologies if you're watching numerous videos and you've already subscribed and sick of hearing me ask, but in order to be able to live stream it, I do need 50 subscribers. I'm currently at 25, and I do think that the live streams will offer a different type of content and interaction on games that don't necessarily fit into the format of trying to capture kind of episodes. I will do an updated review of this game before I return to non-commentary play-along footage. Thank you as always for watching.